we've been talking this hour a little bit about a tendency on the part of many people in the media and certainly many people in the left of the political spectrum to bash small business. What's so terrible about small business with all of the small business owners out there? It's a great time to talk about it because this is Small Business Week, and no better person to speak to about that than Alfredo Ortiz, friend of this show, who is the president and CEO of the Job Creators Network. Alfredo, I understand this is officially Small Business Week.
It is, and we are out on the road actually on our TaxCutsWork.com tour going across America, talking to small business owners and getting some great stories about what they're doing with their tax cuts.
Well, and that's a great moment for small business because of the new opportunities that are there because of these tax cuts that we need to defend. But what is it that benefits small business most about the changes in the tax law that Congress enacted last year?
You know, it's a great question. There are several changes that really impact them, but I think that the biggest two, Michael, are one is the immediate expensing of purchases of capital equipment. It's a fancy way of basically saying you're able to write off that amount the year that you actually purchase, and this is a huge opportunity for small business owners. I was actually in Wakanda, Illinois yesterday at a small business called HM Manufacturing.
Wakanda, that's the same. Wakanda, Illinois, did you say that's the same name as the Black Panther country, isn't it?
Well, I'm not quite sure about that, but Wakanda, Illinois is a great city, at least from what I saw.
Great.
HM Manufacturing has done a tremendous job. They actually spent about $450,000 on some new machinery so they could increase their output. They have about 20 employees, and their sales are going through the roof, and they are excited about the tax cuts. They actually have increased their benefits to their employees. They're covering 100% of their benefits. They've given them bonuses and wages, and we are hearing these stories. Hundreds and hundreds of stories are coming in through our website. But also we're hearing this just anecdotally that millions of small business owners are really taking advantage of that opportunity. And then the deduction, which is about a 20% deduction that they have coming their way on their taxes when they file. So those are two big parts that they're able to take advantage of, Michael, to be able to reinvest back in their businesses and their employees.
Okay, I understand that there are 60 million people who are employed in small businesses across the country. Is that about right?
That's about right, about 30 million small businesses. So when you add it all up, we're talking almost 100 million people in this country. And that means that they're not 100 million Republicans, right? There are 100 million Democrats, Republicans, independents, you name it. They're Americans. They're Americans, and they work very hard for what they do, especially small business owners. You know, and a lot of times, Michael, we talk a lot about the success and how exciting it is and all these great stories about success. But what we fail to talk about is the blood, sweat, and tears, frankly, that goes into running a small business. What it takes to actually, you know, the worry of payroll, the worry of employees. I mean, I had a small business myself, a couple of employees, and I have to tell you, it becomes family almost right away. You know, I certainly saw it yesterday at one of our stops. This was 20 employees that are working hard. They're excited. They're proud of what they're doing. The owner's done a tremendous job there, and she's excited for the cuts and to reinvest back in their business.
Yeah, and just to correct some of the notions here, I know that a lot of the left, the people who want the tax rates to go back up and to tax people more heavily, they are suggesting that because of the tax cuts, there are lots and lots of small businesses and big businesses that will now, quote, get away with paying nothing. That's not even vaguely true, is it?
No, I mean, first of all, you know, it's people who want to try to cheat the system will always be there, whether the taxes are high or low. You can't really ever do something about that. There will always be some level of people trying to cheat a system. But these are law-abiding American citizens who are working hard for their dollars, putting everything that they own on the line, working in many cases 20-plus hours a day, 7 days a week. And no, they play by the rules. And this time, finally, after 31 years, Michael, after 31 years where nothing has really taken place to help small business owners, they are finally getting help because this administration understands that red tape is bad for small businesses, that high taxes was bad for small businesses, and that, frankly, the lack of credit that existed was also bad for business. And that came about because of the Dodd-Frank. And so this administration is like the trifecta of wins for small businesses. They are addressing all three of these issues that have been the biggest issues facing them over the past several years before this administration came on board.
Well, that's absolutely right. And one of the things that I think that you mentioned, there's nothing you can do about people who try to cheat the system and try to avoid paying taxes. When tax rates are clear and transparent and sensible, then I know they found this in with the Reagan tax cuts, is by simplifying the system and shrinking the number of rates, there was actually better compliance, not worse, because people had less reason to try to game the system.
Yeah, and that is a great point. When you simplify a system, it is better, it's easier. Like I said, the folks that we spoke to at HM Manufacturing, I mean, it's clear they've been playing by the rules for years. Those rules were not friendly to them before, and they are now. And they're reinvesting these dollars right back into their businesses. I mean, I wish you would have seen the pride on the face of not only the owner but the employees of what they're doing, really working hard for those dollars, watching the sales grow. They have plans already to expand out, their current facility. They have some property next door that they're going to expand into. It's just exciting. This is what America's about, right? American entrepreneurialism. And I have to point out, the scary part was at one point, just a few years ago, entrepreneurialism in this country was actually on a decline. There were more small businesses closing than were actually opening.
Well, again, turning that around is one of the great achievements of these tax cuts. And people who want to preserve the tax cuts should go to taxcutswork.com. That's taxcutswork.com. You can find out all about the Tax Cuts Work Tour and where they're headed next, and maybe to a town or city near you. It's posted at our website at michaelmedved.com and taxcutswork.com. Alfredo Ortiz, keep it up and good luck and bon voyage. We'll be right back.